Is there anybody listening? Is there anyone that sees what's going on? Read between the lines, criticize the words they're selling. Think for yourself and feel the...
Did you guys hear me singing along? I always sing along to my own intro. Good morning. We made it to another damn Monday. Oh my gosh. What a week, guys. I have had a week from hell. Why do I feel like half my lights are out? Half my lights are out. Let's see. I got one more down here. So I mean, it's Monday. It is Monday. Let's get my bottom light and get rid of my double chin. Watch this. See how fast that is? Oh my God, it's amazing. I wish I could just walk around with the light below me at all times. I'll do a show and I'll forget to turn my chin light on, and I'll be like, oh God, I look terrible. Got to turn the chin light on. It's Monday, guys. I got updates for you. I'm shedding like a damn sheepdog. So, as you guys know, last Monday I started out with a big bang. My motor in my vehicle is trying to go out, blow up, whatever. The sensors in it freaked out. And then I blew my front tire when I was on my way to go pick Hunter, the granddaughter, up. And, you know, anything that can happen will happen. Of course, we are doing the rollover from the strike that we took from YouTube in May and April. So we didn't get paid this month, which means I didn't have money to fix anything. So I've just been kind of stuck. And then, so I had Hunter till Thursday, and her parents came, picked her up. They were going to go camping. As far as I knew, they were out at the lake having a great time camping. And just as we went on air on Saturday night, I got a message that Hunter was in emergency surgery for an appendectomy. Her appendix was close to rupturing. And I was just floored. Like, what do you mean? You're supposed to be out camping, having a good time. How'd you get from the lake? You know, because they were way out. It's a good, hour and a half drive from where they were camping. And of course, I couldn't get to her. There was no buses running. I was just beside myself, but I did get in to see her yesterday. She's recovering. She's going to be a couple more days in the hospital, but I'm so thankful. I hate our little hospital, and we're going to talk about our hospital because I have a report about it. But I can say they've saved two of my loved ones' lives. I would not have them here if they wouldn't have caught it. And because that was a death sentence 100 years ago, right? I'm like, why do I feel so lonely? Because I don't have my chat up. I can't even see you guys. Good morning, chat. Yes. Hope Hunter feels better. Thank you. I told her, I go, I was on air when I found out, and everybody's been sending me messages and love for you and get wells. And she ate it up. She loves you guys. She loves coming on the show. I have a feeling she'll probably do something in media when she gets older. She says she wants to be a vet, but we all wanted to be a vet as a kid. So that's where I'm at. I did all that with no nicotine, which, that was good. I didn't kill anybody. I've stayed in a relatively good mood. So what a week. Hope Hunter feels better. hope Hunter Biden feels worse. Yes, poor thing. We did not, when Hunter got named, that was 2012. Hunter Biden wasn't even a blimp on anybody's screen. So poor child. She shares a name with such a terrible person. How is everybody this morning, DC? I see you hanging out over the Rokfin. Kate, you made it. Did you get your coffee? Yeah, I got good vibes this morning. I've just decided I'm not having a bad week again. Last week was enough for a long time. Copeland. Hi, Copeland. I got the YouTubes up. We're on everywhere this morning. Of course, it is Monday, so we are on the YouTubes. Aspen Fallen's here. Hey, Aspens. Snow Leopard, good to see you. I saw a funny Dingo ate me babies over here. I saw a funny thing. Who said it? Art Cassette World. Hey, does anybody know if this is the place where the hat boomer chicks are? Sam was asking. That's all. I said, of course, we resemble that here. We definitely do. So good morning out there to everybody. Julie just got in. Everybody's filing in. Do me a favor, hit that like and share this out because we are on YouTube. It helps me with the algorithm. I got a new follower this week over on Trailer Park Pundit. So I feel like I'm growing. Welcome to my newest follower. Oh, there goes. Okay. I had a double instance of myself, and the Rumble is actually up and running. Good morning, Rumble. I have the hardest time with your name. Caligula's carnation. Is that what it is? Good morning. Hey, Rumble is working. Was not the past 2 shows. I know. I don't know why. They were there. They were launched. I don't know. I have the hardest time with Rumble. I can't find us on Rumble. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not. I understand how technology works, but I cannot wrap my mind around the way Rumble works. It looks like we have 2 channels on Rumble. There's Beauty and the Boomer, and then there's Beauty and the Boomer After Dark. One has like 80 followers and one has like 50 followers, but the content when you load it goes to both of them. So I don't know if maybe one's live feeds and one's past videos. I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around it. But that's why I like Rokfin. Rokfin, you've been great to us. They've never poo-pooed on us in all these years, but I hear Rokfin might be up for sale. Just something I heard. I can't confirm, can't deny. I don't know, but that would not be good if we lose Rokfin because it's all we really have, right? That doesn't, Rumble says they don't censor us, but they just bury you so far nobody sees you. Okay, because we are on YouTube this morning, we got to do the whole fair use. What I'm talking about, I'm just commentating and reporting on. These are my opinions, and please go out there, do your own research if you are interested in any topic that I cover, because I don't do super deep dives. I just scratch the surface enough for you to get interested and go do the research yourself, right? And the info's out there. They don't hide it. They do not hide it at all. They just figure you're never going to go look for it. And if you do go look for it, they're just going to tell you you're insane and not to believe it. So there you are. There you are. Let's see. PayPal, you guys have been saving my ass this week. Thank you so much. I can't. It's a lifeline. Every time one of you guys even drops, $10 on PayPal or Patreon, it is a lifeline for me, and I can't thank you enough. I made this choice to be hurting this bad financially right now. And why did I make that choice? Because I spent 35 years busting my fucking ass being owned by some corporation for fucking minimum wage for all my life, and I'm just done doing it. Yeah, I can go get a job and I can make good money. I always make good money because I'm a smart girl. I'm a go-getter. And when I set my mind to something, I can do it. But I'm tired of being owned. The last 2 companies I worked for, they treated me like they owned me. I mean, literally like, oh, you need to go, to Seattle and stay at my house and do this. Even when you're off the clock, I'm tired of being owned. And I made a conscious decision that I don't care if I have to eat rice and live in a trailer park for the rest of my damn life. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that is let the world know that we have a broken fucking system and we need to stand up and scream about it. I never set out to do independent media. I was on the ground activist. I was out there getting people fired up, chairing meetings, fighting back at my local Dems, tackling Robert's rules. This isn't where I wanted to end up, but this is where I ended up because we have a message we've got to tell people. And what I've seen over the last 8 years inside the Democratic Party is complete filth and rot. And we cannot fall in line and just blindly support any of these parties any longer. We cannot. And we have to make it stop now. So that's why I'm here. And I appreciate you guys helping me. I've pulled the buy me a coffee slide just because they've been jerking me around. I don't know what their dealio is. Like, oh, we only pay out every other Wednesday or some shit. And like, you can only request to get paid out. So if you've already requested to get paid out and then you have more money in there, you can't request anymore. I don't know. There's always something. And why is there always something? Because these motherfuckers are profiting off of all of us. GoFundMe. How rich have we made GoFundMe off the backs of people who are hurting and can't afford medical bills or in having a crisis? I just find all of these like that. So gross. Shame on them. Greed's gross. You guys, I haven't been promoting this, and I'm sorry, Amber. I really should be pushing this more. We have a fundraising effort to get to Argentina. Of course, we want to go to Argentina in October and meet up with all our peeps, and there's supposed to be some great people coming in. I mean, it would be great if Whitney and Johnny showed up too. I mean, I kind of hear rumblings of that. So, of course, We'll have Convo Couch hopefully there too. So if you want to help us, we're putting out a Roar Media cookbook. Submit your ideas, recipes, names, suggestions to Roar Media at pm.me, or you can hit any of our websites or email addresses and we'll make sure it goes where it needs to get. So submit your ideas. It can be a photo, it can be a video, it can be just a index card that you wrote the recipe down on. You got a good recipe, send it in. We'll put it in the cookbook. So yeah, that's what we're working on. The website for Roar Media will be done very shortly. I know I was working on it a couple weeks ago. I gotta say, guys, I spent yesterday. Oh, what a fucking day I had yesterday. So I have $20. I go to the store. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get me some vape juice just so I have nicotine to stay calm, blah, blah, blah. And the store that I normally go to was closed for hours and hours. It was just like maybe the cashier was hungover and decided they weren't working on a Sunday. I don't know. I live in a small town. That shit happens. So I go to the next store and they're like, oh, well, we have these things and they're on sale, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. They broke within 20 minutes of me getting home. Both of them broke and I was flat bust again. So then 10 minutes later, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to walk to the hospital to see Hunter if I have to. I don't care. I'm going to knock on neighbors' doors. Somebody can drive me the fucking half hour to the next town to go see my granddaughter. So I'm getting dressed and I stab myself straight in the fucking eye with a mascara wand. All day I had this eye closed. I couldn't. Oh my God. It was such I'm telling you guys, this week cannot be. But point of the matter is Oz knew I was having such a horrible time. He came in and he wrote part of the deck for me. And Oz always drops things on the deck, but he doesn't come in and write my show for me. He literally wrote this day in history. I didn't even know he liked this segment. I go, you're hired, Oz, because it looks amazing. Doesn't it look amazing, guys? So on this day in history, let me put my glasses on because I haven't read any of these. Let's see what it is. So 1963 U.S. President John F. Kennedy holds his iconic Ich bin in Berliner speech. You could tell I took a little German. The speech was a welcome gesture of support for the people of West Berlin. East Germany had erected the Berlin Wall just 2 years earlier to stop mass migration to the West. Oh, imagine that. They wanted to leave. And let's see, 1906, the first Grand Prix car races held. The competition was held at the circuit around Les Mas, France, and organized by the Automobile Club of de France, ACF. And I can't even attempt to say that guy's name who won. Schweitz? Is that who won? Yeah, I don't do good with French. I guess I don't have the tongue for French. 1925, Charlie Chaplin's film The Gold Rush receives its premiere. The comedy featured Chapman in his famous Little Tramp role in a classic silent film genre. The English star actor repeatedly stated that this was the film he wanted to be remembered for. Yeah, not the other one. What was The Dictator? Was that the one everybody remembers him for? I don't know. I remember him for all kinds of things. I will say Robert Downey Jr. did an amazing job in the 90s with the biopic about him. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. 1936, the world's first practical helicopter lifts off. The twin rotor Walker, I can't even, F-61 was first tested in Berlin. None of the first prototypes survived World War II. Imagine that. But a replica can be seen at the Hauskunstmuseum Museum in Germany. That's cool. Oz, you picked very cool ones. Thank you. Thank you for this day in history. You know, we talk about this day in history because I believe that it's so important to go back and see that we didn't start the fire, that we've been fighting this for a long fucking time, right? And Johnny Vedmore, you know, if you follow Johnny's work, he really goes back and chases down where all this shit is started at and how it's perpetuated and how it's gone for the last 100 years. And definitely go check out Johnny Vedmore's work. He was over on Burmis yesterday or the day before. A great interview. You can catch it over on Rokfin, I think. for sure. But I think history is important because it tells us why we got here. It didn't just start happening. Epstein didn't just happen in the 90s. There was a lot of shit that led up to Epstein, right? We know that. And I had to add one more in this day of history. So on this day, 36 years ago today, the classic Vietnam film, as Stanley Kubrick's most popular work, Full Metal Jacket was released. Yeah, who remembers Full Metal Jacket? I didn't remember for years that it was the guy from Law and Order. What's his name? That played that guy. God, he did such a great job, and he was so young. That was one of his first acting gigs too. Did an amazing job. I'm a huge Kubrick fan. I mean, all of his works. I think that he knew what was kind of going on. Maybe he was seeing it firsthand. Who knows? Because maybe he filmed the Apollo landing. I'm just saying. Maybe he knew a lot sooner than the rest of us, just because he was kind of in the back of the workings of it. Let's see. Okay, we got a lot to cover. Of course, we have the attempted coup in Russia. So I didn't bring a lot on that because if you guys want to know what's going on with that, and I know you guys do, you have been out there listening to Scott Ritter. You've been listening to Richie Medhurst. You've been listening to Fiorel Isbell. I mean, they're bringing you the truth of what's going on the ground in Russia. And God, what a shit show of propaganda this has been. I apologize. I know I'm so bad at I'm so bad at enunciation. Burma says Vedmore is doing a 5-part series. I'll catch the channel. Yes, Vedmore is doing a 5-part series, and not only that, he's done a lot of deep dive series. You can go over to johnnyvedmore.com and find all of his work. He does this series called The Hand, and he really chases down these spy agencies and what they've been up to for the last 100 years and how they're really incorporated in our big universities and institutions, right? Like, and of course with the elite, because that is the elite's playground. Yeah, that's where future leaders are chosen, right? So let's hear from Kim Iverson. Kim Iverson says Russia was in the process of absorbing the Wagner Group into the regular armed forces. Smart, effectively stripping Prigozhin. How do you say his name? Prigozhin. I had it and then I lose it. And the power he accustomed to likely demanded a lot of money and was denied it, decided to extort money from the West, then use that leverage against Putin for an even larger payout. Now, Prigozhin is likely a billionaire and Wagner is absorbed into the military. Everyone wins. Even the West wins with the narrative that Russia is weaker. Literally everyone got what they wanted. I don't know. I really don't know. With everything that we know, he's supposed to scootle off to what is it, Belarus he's going to. He might end up dead. I mean, you rise up against Putin and fucking shame him globally, and you think that you're just going to get a payday? Or maybe him and Putin had this whole plan out to begin with to fuck over NATO and the CIA. Who really knows what actually went down here? Was our CIA trying to pull a January 6th inside Russia? I mean, there's so many questions, but I can tell you what didn't happen. What didn't happen is the Russian people didn't take to the streets and party because they thought that Putin was gonna step down. They didn't take to the streets because they were having a civil war. They took to the streets because it was a festival. So all that footage that we saw out there of, oh my gosh, and then the lies from the mainstream media, the Western media, about how they're on their way marching to Moscow and they're gonna surround the defense ministry. To me, this is how I grasp what happened. You have this general who is the leader of a mercenary group, basically, who does not answer to the Russian government. They are not military, right? They're a subcontracted side group, kind of like what? BlackRock or one of those type of mercenary groups that we would have. And he kicked ass in Bakhmut, right? And got Russia a huge win. So he was like, oh, I got a little bit of leverage now. I'm going to start bitching and crying. And he took to media to do that. And he shamed Putin doing that, right? And then he starts putting up posts that, hey, Russia's shelling us. Our own country is shelling us. And look, here is the blown up cans. Here is the bodies. We don't know. Propaganda is propaganda. So we don't know. Maybe it did happen. I could see Russia shelling his ass. He's publicly humiliating them. But basically what it is him and the defense minister, the defense minister of Russia right now has no fucking experience at all. He is not a military guy. He's never been in the military. It's just like our asshats that we put in control of our armed forces. Don't have a lick of fucking experience at all. So I can understand both sides of this, right? And I don't know. I don't know, because he didn't have a problem with Putin. Him and Putin were getting along fine. I mean, but for Putin to have to stop, come on TV and be like, knock this off, you're making us weaker. I don't know, but we'll see. If he ends up in the next couple of weeks, I will not be surprised, because to me, this is very traitorous. God, if we did this here in our fucking country, you would definitely be looking at being called a traitor and probably have the Espionage Act slapped against you, right? Okay, so that was my take on it. Don't you guys know I'm not the foreign policy girl. You want foreign policy advice and information, please go to the people I already listed. Fee, she knows, she's been on the ground. Richie's always paying attention to what's going on. And Scott Ritter, whether you like him or not, he's not wrong about it. And I've done a little bit of research into Scott and those charges that were filed against him in 2011, and I think he was set up. I think that he had a very loud mouth that was anti-war, and we know what the establishment does if you are pushing back against them, especially 10 years ago. They could do it no fucking problem and get away with it. Makes me sad, I feel so sad for the John Kiriakou and, Scott Ritter, but they just hold their heads up and keep going, right? So INN and Joe did a great job of showing you exactly what the main shit media has been up to this weekend. And yeah, this is the narrative they were spinning. Let's check it out.
There's a pretty wild situation unfolding in Russia tonight. The White House says it is monitoring.
President Vladimir Putin is accusing the Wagner mercenary group of an armed rebellion.
The bitter dispute is causing concern around the world, with fears Russia could plummet into chaos.
So let me just set this up a little bit in order to understand what's happening now, or what appears to be happening right now.
Putin's chef, Evgeny Prigozhin.
You have to keep in mind that Yevgeny Prigozhin is still known to many people as being Putin's caterer.
I can't believe, frankly, I'm even saying this.
Yevgeny Prigozhin is one of the individuals who was sanctioned by the U.S. for meddling in the 2016 election.
And there's this question of is this real? Is it performance? Then Prigozhin followed up, apparently, by posting a series of audio messages on the social media platform Telegram, claiming the Russian Minister of Defense had personally overseen an attack on his fighters, using artillery and helicopters, adding that, quote, huge numbers of his men have been killed, and vowing to punish those involved, threatening to march his troops on the Ministry of Defense in Moscow.
This is the latest map. Red is where Wagner has control. Yellow is where Wagner is currently heading. Small circle up top.
This is where he has control.
I can't believe, frankly, I'm even saying this.
After Prigozhin today essentially declared war on the Russian military, because he did. He accused them of deliberately striking his fighters and of killing a, quote, huge amount of them.
All of us are ready to die.
I think that Prigozhin has his own political ambitions. I think he would like to become president of Russia.
Can you imagine?
Remove Putin. Whether it gets that far, I don't know.
What is going on here?
This looks real now, yes?
These are the chaotic scenes.
Don't brush your hair. You're going on CNN. Not a big deal.
What they say is their forest camp struck by the Russian military. In a clearing, trees appear to have been smashed, some with fabric strewn from their branches. Through a gash in the soil, a fire burns in what appears to be a destroyed bunker. There are gruesome images too, of the corpse in the undergrowth, as well as severed body parts.
And there's this question of is this real? Is it performance?
The situation's so serious tonight that state television broke into scheduled programming, breaking into programming to tell Russian people not to listen to Prigozhin while armored vehicles are on the streets of Moscow.
Hundreds of thousands of young men have fled Russia.
He said that Russia did not invade Ukraine because Ukraine was going to attack Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine so that top military commanders could enrich themselves with medals and with other things.
Not that NATO surrounded him.
Criticizing Putin for not being decisive enough and not throwing enough resources at this war, to saying, look, there was no reason to wage this war in the first place.
I can't believe, frankly, I'm even saying this.
There are reports now, but no video of columns of Wagner soldiers heading into Moscow to attack the defense ministry and Russian tanks surrounding that ministry.
This looks real now, yes?
Right? Prigozhin is Putin's boy. Imagine what it took for him to turn on Putin.
I don't think
the White House National Security Council has confirmed President Biden has been briefed on what's going on inside Russia, which tells you just how high the stakes are here.
So what potentially is next? Are we talking potential civil war?
Mama! Mama!
It appears that these long brewing tensions are now turning into something of an insurrection.
A Wagner-linked Telegram account has announced, quote, the civil war has begun.
Not that the threat of all-out civil war has civilians there all that worried.
We, the U.S., the European Union, NATO, don't like a nuclear-armed country involved in civil war. He's not claiming he was ordered to do it. It's an open insurrection.
This is an extraordinary public escalation of infighting inside Russia.
And there are reports of prisoner riots in Russia.
So this is indicative of a massive coup. At this point, we can call it that. We can call it a massive coup against Vladimir Putin.
Troy and Tahoe.
It's going to be a very difficult period for Putin to survive.
But finally, Wagner-affiliated Telegram chats are saying that the Russian state is no more, and essentially that the institutions no longer exist.
And Putin was very clear that those who are now behind this insurrection have chosen the path of blackmail and terrorist methods and will face inevitable punishment.
5 minutes later.
What the fuck? Oh, shit.
So we keep hearing this $6.2 million number dropped around. Again, remember, just at the beginning of last week, the Pentagon came out and had a very meek spokeswoman explain to us that they made a counting error and they found $6.2 billion more dollars. And I keep hearing people reference that like they gave it to Prigozhin. Did they? I don't know. You know, I don't ever, when somebody says somebody's playing 5D chess, I could see Putin playing 5D chess. Definitely not Biden, guys. You know, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? So this is how it actually turned out. I think Oz dropped this one on the deck. Yeah, that about sums it up, right? I mean, so coming into Friday, Saturday, I was like, oh, there's something going on in Russia, but I don't know what to believe, you know, because you're just hearing clips here and there. And so I actually sat down Saturday during the day and was like, I'm going to figure out what the hell's going on, you know? And I go to the gamut of media that I trust when it comes to foreign affairs, foreign policy, and this is what I've came up with. Was Putin in on it? I guess the determining factor will be if Prigozhin's still alive in a couple of weeks, right? If he's still alive in a couple of weeks, I would say he was in on it. If he's disappeared, maybe he wasn't in on it. I don't know. But I tend to agree with Fee on this. It was very traitorous. It was very traitorous, if not. Oh, what a way to, undermine your own country, right? I'm not into that. I call out my country for their shit, but I'm definitely not going to go try to start a fucking coup, you know? So hope I'm dead wrong. What'd you say, Denver? I just see the West initially demilitarizing itself and isolating itself by pissing everyone else off in every opportunity. It's true. It's true. I love when they were, you know, in that clip that Ian and Joe did, like, you know, like, oh, they're getting ready to fall. Russia's going to fall. Look, the people are against each other. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's not what is going on in these clips. It's just crazy. I don't know what this is, but we'll bring it up on the big screen so I can read it. So it's a tweet from Mick Wallace. Mick Wallace says, never ever forget that hashtag NATO is a war machine that has nothing to do with peace and security. War is a money racket. Yes, Smedley told us that. People of Ireland do not want triple lock abandon to facilitate our warmongering politicians urged to engage in imperialistic wars that have nothing to do with us. Hear. And yeah, let's hear what he has to say.
Чи будуть в Україні наступного року вибори?
Oh, this is Zelensky. This is a global question. If we win, there will be no wartime. No war. Elections should be held in peacetime only when there is no war according to the law. And that is why this is so basically that little sawed-off dictator, because that's what a dictator does, canceled elections in the Ukraine. Nah, we can't have any elections during wartime. So we're never going to run an election until we have peace in our country, basically is what he is saying. And that if that is not the definition of fascist dictator, I don't know what is, guys. I mean, can you imagine? That would be like Biden canceling ours too, which we were worried about, under COVID. We thought maybe he would actually do that shit, right? I was a little worried about it. Oh, no, sorry, we can't have an election, But instead, they went and found themselves 81 million votes. They didn't need to shut it down. They just needed to get the Philly mob to help them stuff some boxes. Oh, don't know what I'm talking about? Yeah, this was a story that I was all over in 2020. I had a feeling I knew what was going on. And to this day, I still think I know what was going on there. Kirby came out. Let's see, what is this? The White House National Security Coordinator walks out after being asked about Hunter Biden's WhatsApp messages from China implementing President Biden. I also I heard Trump started reading them at the podium yesterday during his speech. He whipped out the Hunter Biden WhatsApps and just started reading them to the crowd. I guess that's one way to get them out there. But this is Kirby's response.
The House Ways and Means Committee yesterday released documents, their authenticity nowhere challenged. That included a July 2017 WhatsApp message sent by Hunter Biden to Henry Zhao, a Chinese Communist Party official, which stated in its entirety, and I quote, "I am sitting here with my father, and we would like to understand why the commitment made has not been fulfilled. Tell the director that I would like to resolve this now before it gets out of hand, and now means tonight. And Z, if I get a call or text from anyone involved in this other than you, Zhang, or the chairman, I will make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows, and my ability to forever hold a grudge, that you will regret not following my direction. I am sitting here waiting for the call with my father," unquote. So just a couple of questions about this. First, does this not undermine the president's claim during the 2020 campaign and the reaffirmations of that claim by his two press secretaries since then, that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with him?
No, and I'm not going to comment further on this.
We're good.
I'm not. James, let me save you some. Let me save you some breath. If you're going to ask about this, I am not addressing. I know you do more than I'd like you to have. I am not going to address this issue from this podium. I'm just not going to do it.
All right.
I'm not going to do it.
Where was the president on it?
Thank you.
Because you can't come up with a song and dance.
House.
He couldn't come up with a song and dance to cover up for that shit because it's that bad. So they're just not going to address it, right? That's what they do. JF Bree says the Duran, the Atlas, and Scott Ritter and Colonel McGregor. Yeah, I like McGregor too. That's who you go to for all of your foreign policy. Exactly. These are the people that I'm listening to. I really like McGregor's analysis too, for sure. When I do catch it. Good morning, Death to Tyrants. And I see Denver Attaway made his way in. Kathy, welcome, Kathy Lloyd. And Patty in NYC. V's here. V, I'm so glad to see you. I'm so sorry I can't say your last name. Me and those damn foreign names, I just can't do it. Go Start made it. Hey, Go Start. Kirby vacuum. I had a Kirby vacuum. It sucked. That's a good one. Kirby does suck, right? Did you guys see the story? Okay, so in 2019, I want to say the New York Post dropped a story about a sex club that Hunter Biden was a part of in NYC. And there was a story about how they made some workers go out and buy him a sex toy to use on him. And they said he was a really nice guy. He was a really good tipper, blah, 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 blah. And it got shot down by mainstream media as complete bullshit, right? Well, now this last week, we had another story come out about him being part of a big high profile, high expensive sex club. And they kicked him out because he was a Nepo baby. And, you know, do you know who my dad is? I can do what I want type of attitude. So it makes me think that that story about the sex toy from 3 years ago was true. You know, because the media was like, oh, this is just stupid. Oh, he would never. Well, it's kind of sounding like, yeah, he would. I mean, does it mean anything when it comes down to actual politics? No, but it just gives validity to everything that they've been saying, right? Now, guys, I didn't even want to cover this topic. I don't cover this topic, but Oz put it on the deck, and it is so fucking gross and wrong. I had no choice. So, of course, it is Pride Month, and it was this weekend was most of the huge pride parades. And if you want to see, it's all over Twitter. Just type in #Pride, and you'll get an eyeful. That's for sure. Seattle's Pride Parade had 300,000 people turn out. Of course, it was the 49th annual. And of course, there wasn't lacking on shit libs out there virtue signaling. Of course, this is the mayor of Seattle, Bruce Harrell? I don't know. Just a dim they put in there to hold the seat till the next terrible dim comes in, right? So we saw a lot of corporations in the parade from what I watched of it. And, you know, I've been to the parade in the past over the years, and, you know, it's changed. It's changed. It's 100% changed. And I don't know if I would feel comfortable taking Hunter to it any longer. There was a lot of kids out there, though. There was a lot of families out there yesterday. But of course, the Democrats had to show up in force. So this is Nancy Pelosi. Happy San Francisco Pride. Taking pride means extending respect and love and drawing strength and inspiration. Unless you're a Trump supporter, we don't respect and love you, right? To our #LGBTQ+ families, we see you, we support you, and we take pride in you. Yeah, you didn't until about what, 2015? 2016. That's when a lot of these Dems decided that, oh yeah, marriage can be between two people. But up until then, it was between a man and a woman, including Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. And this is what pisses me off so much. They weren't there for you guys. What are you talking about? These people don't give two shits about you. They're just virtue signaling like they do every June, right? This opened the door for a lot of disgusting shit yesterday. You guys like the hippie shandas? Yeah, those are leftover from last summer. I got a lot of leftover shit. 300,000 TK. Yeah, isn't that crazy? But it's Seattle. Not shocking. Let's see. Oz dropped this one. This is Minneapolis Pride Parade, and viewer discretion. This is just so bad. So if you ever vote for Joe Biden, you can't possibly think that having kids watch this man with more hair on his back than his head twerk inappropriately in a diaper, I might add. What kind of man decides that he wants to twerk for children anyways? This is a total stain on, and it just cut. So here you go. Viewer discretion advised. Why is this okay? Stop, I don't want to see it. Oh God, Oz, make it stop. I just can't. I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop. Oz, that was terrible to do to me in the morning. Oh my God, I'm never going to get that guy's ball sack out of my freaking head. Thank you. But why is this okay? This is not okay. And there was videos that I couldn't even bring you guys. Like, go check out New York. If I took my top off and walked around in New York, I would get I'd go to jail for indecent exposure. But it's okay, man. It's okay. This Sodom and Gomorrah was fucking trending all day yesterday. And I'm not a very religious person. I understand religion. I grew up in it. But yeah, I mean, this just opens the door for minor attracted people to do whatever the fuck they want, guys. It's not okay. It's not okay. And I love everybody. Be you. Be who you want to be with who you want to be. But we have laws in public, laws for a reason to protect children. And this is not protecting children. It's disgusting. And normally I keep my mouth shut about it. And normally I keep my mouth shut about, the encroaching on women's rights. But I'm not keeping my mouth shut anymore. And you can call me a bigot and you can call me a hater all you fucking want. Because I know in my heart I'm not one bit. Gregory, I see a super ray just dropped. Let's see. Gregory Walker, Shandog, I hope your granddaughter is doing well after her surgery. And tell Oz he can use me as a body double in his Photoshop. I was dirty building, but now it's summer, so I'm getting. Why won't it show me the rest? Show me the rest. I don't know. It won't show me the rest of it. So I'm your show ready. Okay. I will tell him we love to put our heads on everybody's bodies. If you haven't noticed, I've actually got a new card up. Let's see. I can grab it. Yeah, there's my card from today. I love doing like classic old refaces. I think they're fun, but I've got a bunch. I've got a really good one of me as a queen, and I'm going to put a trailer park behind it, because I'm queen of the trailer park. So that's the funnest part of my day is making these slides. So some of you guys might know the singer rapper Tom McDonald. I've featured him in a lot of my shows for many, many years. People call him a bigot. People call him a hater, a Trump supporter. But it seems like if you understand what's really happening in this country nowadays, that's just what they call you, right? You don't have to be a hater. You don't have to be a bigot. That's just what you'll get labeled, right? So many of us have been labeled that. Let's hear his message.
As everyone knows, it's Pride Month. I just want to say, if the woke mob and all of these corporations really wanted to empower the LGBTQ community, they would have did so back when their support had real consequences. It might have been righteous if Target stood next to gay people back when that meant their stores would have been trashed or shut down altogether. But standing proudly with the LGBTQ community in 2023 for 30 days only, it doesn't feel rad. It feels trendy. And the trend is woke capitalists charading as allies to a community that they really don't give a about just so they can suck up every rainbow dollar on earth for 30 days. It's also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I've barely heard 2 words about that. You think we could spend just a little more time focusing on men's mental health? Because honestly, with all this woke bull being crammed down our throats all the time, it's enough to make a man go crazy. Men, those people who build our bridges, stand our buildings, dig our ditches, fight our fires, protect our communities, and serve in our militaries. How about we have a little pride in our men's mental health?
I didn't know it was Men's Mental Health Month. Did you know? I mean, it's not exactly out there as a banner on everybody's fucking Twitter feed, right? So I thought I'd go look at some stats. Let's look at some men's mental health stats. Over 6 million men suffer from depression per year, but male depression often goes undiagnosed. Why? Because it's not manly to ask for help, right? That has been kind of the societal norm for so long. Suck it up. Toughen up, right? More than 3 million men in the U.S. have panic disorders, agoraphobia, or any other phobia. 2.3 million Americans have affected bipolar disorder, and equal amount of men and women develop this illness. So there's just as many men out there with bipolar as there is women. 19% of men in the U.S. have daily feelings of depression and anxiety. Now, I want to say this report is from 2021. So you know that those numbers have got to be so much higher now. 1 in 3 of those men took medications because of those feelings. Oh, isn't that good for Big Pharma? 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of mental health problem. So 1 in 4, and 30.6% of men have experienced a period of anxiety or depression due to work. And these don't even include the military numbers, right? The 22 a day, which is so much higher than 22 a day. 22 a day is what we were saying in 2016. It's changed so much. It's had to, we know it has. So I think it's important that we talk about these other things like this, men's mental health. And then before you push back about, but there's women in the military too, because he said, let's support these men who are, defending our country and building our bridges. I thought, well, somebody will push back on me and say, well, women are in the military too. Women do those jobs. But let's look. Proportionately, no, it's men. It's the men that are a majority in each one of the military branches. So there you have the Army, you have the Navy, you have the Marines, and you have the Air Force. Now, these are active duty officers. These are not the reserves. I honestly didn't look at the reserve stats, but I'm sure they're kind of probably reflecting of this too. And yeah, it's just something we don't ever talk about, right? Men's mental health. We need to talk about it more, and we need to make it socially acceptable for men to be able to go ask for help. I think there's so many things that we needed to make socially acceptable, and twerking in your underwear in front of little kids is not one of them, but men being able to seek mental health therapies should be one of them. We're so out of whack. We're so out of balance, right? Sodom and Gomorrah. And I don't know, does this happen to you when you're watching a show and that woke part comes on and it feels more like a lecture from the writers than the actual plot? That's happened to me so much on Netflix lately that I have quite a few series I won't even finish. Umbrella Corp, nope. Not gonna finish it. I mean, I'm 3 seasons in, whatever, but it's just gotten to the point where it's not a show any longer. They're just trying to browbeat you into their ideology. So I'm not watching it, but it seems like a lot more of the series are like that, right? Like, does every character have to meet some kind of a diversity ESG score that's on your show? Seems like it. Okay, enough with that drama. You guys know I don't even like going there, but I went there. Did you guys see this? Another train derailment. This time it took out a bridge in Montana right over Yellowstone River. So a large emergency response is underway after a freight train collapsed into the Yellowstone River in Montana. Hazardous materials, but they haven't told us what kind of hazardous materials, are feared to be spilling into the rivers, and officials are warning residents to begin limiting water usage immediately. Limiting, not you need to not drink it. It might have poison in it. Just limit it. Only drink a cup of water versus 2 cups of water. That's all. Is this fucking normal now, guys? I mean, when I found this the other day, I was like, it had happened a couple of hours earlier. It only had like 2,000 likes on it at the time or something. I was like, why is this normal? Why is this okay? And nobody's talking about it anymore. Like, oh yeah, we had East Palestine. We're over that story. We're not going to talk about that stuff anymore, right? Crazy. Just like one of the guys that went down with that submersible and got imploded. He owned that train that disappeared with all that ammonium nitrate in California a month ago, right? I remember reporting to you guys that, oh, they just lost it, 60,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate. We don't know. Huh. But I guess he'll never have to answer questions with where it went because he's hanging out down at the Titanic. So vote nuclear war in 2024. Stop Russia for good. Yeah, that's what the Dems want you to believe. And the Republicans, right? You guys saw Lindsay and the whole bipartisan fucking initiative to push for a resolution that if any kind of nuke is used by Russia, then we go full on war. That's what Lindsey Graham and the Democrats want, right? They can never come together to help the American people, but goddamn, they can come together to help the war machine, and they always do. They always do. I saw Kit covered this story this morning, but I think it's important because I've always liked Ice Cube, and I've brought his clips before, right? A couple years ago, just before the 2020 election, he came out and he said some pretty stunning shit like, hey, why are people of color voting for these people? They don't do anything for you. They steal your vote, they lie to you, and then they throw you away at the end of the day. Well, he's still saying it, and I love that he's still saying it because I think it's so important for, people to understand that they're getting used by the Democrats and by the political system in general.
Yo, what's cracking?
What's cracking?
You know what it is. It's your homeboy Ice Cube. And some of you may not have realized that I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either.
Nope.
And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their fucking club.
Damn right.
That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people would be like, what? Who? Come on, man. Stop playing.
Stop playing.
So ever since I put out the contract with Black America, you know they've been fucking with me. Here and there, this and that. But it's cool, you know. I expect that. You know, I've been working with, you know, on the big three for a long time. And you know how they've been fucking with me with that. I done made it, you know, plain, simple, and clear what they've been doing. You know, the NBA been fucking with us. Now, a lot of people might say, like, well, but Kirby, you want to work with the NBA. Really, I don't give a fuck about working with the NBA. What I want them to do, when I say work with us, is to stop working against us. Stop doing that bullshit behind the scenes that we know you're doing. Mainstream media, you know, they ain't fucking with us. And that's cool. We can do it ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We still on the rise without these motherfuckers. So we don't need them, you don't need them. You know? So what am I gonna do to deal with these motherfucking gatekeepers? Well, what I'm gonna do is go on a Fuck the Gatekeepers podcast tour.
Nice.
And I'm gonna go talk to everybody, you know, and get a chance to get my message out to the people. Be able to let people hear from me, you know.
Good.
And you know, you might agree, you might not, but the important thing is, you know, for me to go on these platforms, say what I feel about what I think. And, you know, some people may get pissed off because I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm not playing. And it's gonna be a crazy summer. It's gonna be fun. Appreciate y'all. Always support the big three. Hopefully I'm doing stuff that you guys dig. You know, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for people that's bored as fuck in the summer with summer sports and want something cool like the big three. So here we are. Appreciate you. Much love, much respect from your homeboy Ice Cube. Remember.
So I will take him serious when he gets out there and starts hitting some independent media. I want to see him on RBN. I want to see him hit Sabby Sabs. I want to see him on Jimmy Dore. If he's serious about getting his message out there, he will embrace the independent media because he ain't going to get, any play anywhere else because he's talking about the gatekeepers. So we'll see. He's had a lot to say over the last couple of years, and I think it's important. I think that he has a strong voice that can reach a lot of people, and that's what we need. We need people to see we've got a freaking problem in this country, and it's the duopoly. It's the uniparty. It isn't the Republicans. It isn't the Democrats. It's them together and their corporate greed, right? Biden's got 99 problems, but a felony ain't one. Yeah, we know. Phoenix hits 111 today, making it the hottest day of the year so far. Oh, fun for Phoenix. Yeah, I saw Tempe was like outrageous yesterday too. Oh, I feel for you. I feel for you in the South. What is it? It's 61 and mostly cloudy where I'm at today, but we've had a little bit of sun breaking through. My garden's doing great. I've got like, I think 5 more zucchini blooms are getting popping right now. And of course I'm covering them so the rats can't get them. And yeah, everything's doing great. My little peppers are starting to pop off. I don't get very big peppers because it's so cold here. So I get little tiny peppers, tiny peppers. Joe's woes extended way past Hunter. Oh, this was okay. This is Case Study QB. Shout out to Case Study QB. Always doing an excellent job of getting these cuts out there. I try to grab as many as I can. This is, Oz and I used to call her Nazi Barbie, right? Back in the day, back when we were reporting on Trump and talking shit about Trump every day and the Republicans, because we were with Bernie and we were going to stay inside the Democratic Party. We called her Nazi Barbie. Of course, what's the other one? There was Crackhead Barbie too, right? I don't think that any longer about her. I mean, she's a gatekeeper and she's a Republican, but I don't know if she's Nazi Barbie any longer. Maybe that was a little extreme, right?
And this comes as Iowa's bucking the president, New Hampshire, the Democrat Party's there. He does have a little rebellion within the party.
Well, I promise you that Democrats are not rebelling against Joe Biden. I promise you, I can tell you that is not happening. I think Democrats are very happy with what he's achieved policy-wise, whether it's all the jobs, manufacturing boom, reducing prescription drug prices. They're very happy about what they're going to be running on.
But Marie, why did 53% tell the AP they don't want him to run? But how did 53% of Democrats say we don't want him to run?
First of all, I think the polling is completely broken. And I'm not saying that because I don't like this one poll. I think it's very hard to actually determine what Republican voters think. We saw that, or what Democratic voters think. We saw that in the midterm elections. Polls were wildly off. I think that Democrats want 2 things. First, they want to win next year, and they believe that Donald Trump will probably be the nominee, and Joe Biden's the only one who's ever beaten Donald Trump. They also want to continue to build a bench for the next generation of leaders. That is something that Democrats care about. I'm not going to deny that. But I think the Democrats feel very good about their chances with Joe Biden. There is no primary on the Democratic side. I promise you, Kennedy is not actually going to get 20% in any primary. And, elections are tough. These are choices. They feel good about Joe Biden at the top of the ticket and everything he's gotten done, especially compared to the alternative.
Yeah, Maureen, we only have a little bit of time here, but there are a lot of data points showing that Joe Biden's struggling. And my theory is this: he's at 60% in his race against the Dems. When you look at former President Trump, he was at nearly 90% in his primary. He did have some primary opponents. He was much more popular. Biden's got a base problem.
She needs to get over her
I think there's a lot going on with the dissatisfaction of many Americans. The latest poll that I saw showing Biden at 51% disapproval rating. First of all, it starts with everyday thing, Kaylee, like moms like you and I going to the grocery store and getting frustrated every time we check out because of the price of groceries, and going to the gas station, looking at the price of having to fill up our cars. And there's so many parents around this country that are making trade-off decisions about filling up the gas tank or filling up the grocery cart. And also, I think the Hunter Biden scandals, the Biden family scandals, they're certainly, I think, in the minds of voters.
So, okay, what the fuck is she talking about? All the manufacturing that Biden's brought back? What manufacturing? Him reducing prescription drug prices? Who the fuck did that help? He capped insulin at $35 for those on Medicaid. What? And Medicare. No, that didn't help the everyday people out. That didn't, and when she points out that this is the moms that are going to the grocery store and filling this in their pocketbook that are going to start pushing back, you're goddamn right. We're tired of being in survival mode. We were not in survival mode under Trump at all. Life was good, man. I could pay my bills. I could have some money left over to take care of, necessities, things I needed to do. Now I'm swapping out and bargaining with what I can make it, make do with, right? And that's not the reality of what it was under Trump. I look back at the Trump years and go, God damn, we actually had it pretty goddamn good compared to where we're at now, right? It seems like I'm roughing it a lot more than I ever was under Trump. And let's see why. Well, let's see. $29 for a fucking ham and cheese sandwich on health bread. Yeah, $29. Eli Zabar's on Madison Avenue in New York City. Well, there it goes. You can explain. You can get those dumbasses on Madison Avenue to pay $30 for a half a fucking sandwich. Let's see. And let's look at Portland. This is a sad clip I found from Portland. So just when you thought Portland couldn't get any worse, let's check it out.
Pulling out of Portland after 4 decades of doing business in the city, a local developer says he's done.
Mostly frustration as he opens the fence to his final slice of the city.
This property was listed in January of 21 for $795,000. Yesterday, we sold it for $412,000.
I don't think it's unfair to say that this is all evidence that the Biden economic plan, because y'all, is actually working. It's working.
Yeah, they're destroying
this
us.
Tiny piece of property, a former pizza parlor, has been a nightmare for the past 3 years.
The supposed homeless came in and kicked in the door, the front door, and lived in it. And I waited till they came out and I had to board it up.
But Kevin says that didn't do much. They just broke in again and again, living inside, outside, even in his dumpster enclosure, which they eventually set on fire.
Where the hell are the police?
And Kevin tells us he got nowhere when he called police.
Of course!
He looked into hiring a security guard, but that was too expensive, $15,000 a month.
Damn.
So he decided to get a fence, but the wait was 4 months.
I said, why? And they said, because homeowners, like mad, are fencing their property to keep the drug addicts and the homeless out.
It can't possibly get any worse, can it?
Last summer, the city hit him with a nuisance fine.
And it was $539.71.
Kevin paid it. A month later, he got a bigger bill, the original amount plus a penalty. The city told him they lost his check. So he paid the bill again, plus the extra $100.
I would.
What the hell is going on?
This was just the last straw.
Aw, makes me sad.
Sorry.
And the bittersweet ending to his life and work in Oregon.
He deserves better.
Join us in California.
Hell no!
Yeah, don't go to
America
California.
is back.
Oh my gosh, we're back. I would like to point out that the egg salad sandwich next to this ham sandwich is only $24. So I thought eggs were super expensive right now, but apparently, they're cheaper. Oh yeah, let's talk about the toxic left and Beavis, right? We covered Beavis and Butthead pretty in depth on Saturday night of Beauty and the Boomer. The face you make when you're getting fingered by your favorite Democratic Republican Democratic politician, but they are all the same, Republican Democrats. Let's see. When war is when your government tells you who the enemy is. Revolution is when you figure it out for yourself. Hell yeah. The revolution will begin with bipartisan consensus and compromise. Said no revolution ever, right? For sure. Oh, let's talk about the Zuck and the Musk. I got to ask you guys, who do you think is going to win in the cage match if they do the octagon cage match? And now this sounds like this is a real thing. They're both pushing for this. I saw some polls online that had Elon Musk over the 70% pile. I don't know. I wouldn't go with Elon, guys. We brought that picture of him 6 months ago, and he was like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He was out there on his yacht with his shirt off. He was glowing white. He was definitely doughboyed. I got to put my money on Zuckerberg on this one. I got to say, what do you guys think? 1 for Zuckerberg, 2 for Musk. Let me know. Do you guys think who's going to take it? If they do this, why would they do this, for 1? And for 2, what are they going to do with all the money that they're going to raise? If they're actually going to do like the biggest pay-per-view event in the history of the world, where's all that money going to go? Because we know neither Zuckerberg or Musk needs that money, right? I don't know. You tell me, who do you think is going to throw down? I remember the celebrity death match, man. That was funny. And God, wouldn't it be a plot twist if Tom showed up? Of course, that is Tom from MySpace. Imagine the plot twist. Yeah. Tom, we miss you, Tom. You didn't get into our stuff. You didn't spy on us. You didn't sell us out. You didn't suppress us. We miss you, Tom. We really do. Celebrity Deathmatch, man. You got to remember the Celebrity Deathmatches in the 80s over on MTV's Liquid Television. They were always hilarious. You saw Zuck with Lex Freeman. Not shocked. Mr. CIA himself. Yeah, I got questions about Lex. Definitely. He comes from that academia. And we've shown you guys over the years how academia is hand in hand with fascism. I'm just saying. Speaking of fascists, let's talk about the Mega Fed. Did you guys see the Mega Fed get unmasked this weekend? Oh, they're trying to say they're not. So we've been telling you guys for years now that there's infiltrators and provocateurs that show up to all of these events. We know, we've been on the ground for years covering events, and they're always there. And, they were there January 6th, whether you want to believe it or not, they were. And there's lots of video of it. But yeah, let's check this out. I got a couple of different slides. We're going to break it down, kind of look at this. Oh yeah, I remember this. This was just a couple months ago, right? Sidewalk. Yeah! Cops arresting feds. Somehow they always get better treatment than other right-wing groups. They do. News wrap: Patriot Front members free on bail after arrest at Idaho LGBTQ event. Huh, weird, right? That is weird. The recent things got even more sus than usual as a group of Proud Boys were doing a demonstration. Patriot Front tried to infiltrate them. The Proud Boys didn't like that one bit, so they stopped Patriot Front in their tracks.
Bruh.
Get the fuck out!
Go! You too! Get the
Bruh.
Be gone, bitch!
Be gone, bitch! Love that. These people, all blue checks, are celebrating a seemingly mega assault on federal officers. Now I don't know what is real, but take a gander at the comments of the patriots who love America. Adam, dude, you are not supposed to say that quiet part out loud. Laugh my ass off. Yeah. How dare them attack feds? With one tweet, this idiot just destroyed an entire federal operation. But did he? Did he? Or will they just get new face covers, right? Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny because of the way that it went down, right? So I brought you the full video. There's clips all over out there. I think I pulled this one from Jimmy because Jimmy had the best one out there. Let's watch the whole 2-minute encounter.
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here! Back up! Back up! Get out of here!
Get the fuck out!
Go! You too! Hold on! Get the fuck out! Be gone, bitch!
Watch how they freak out when their masks get ripped off and cover their faces as they run away.
Fucking racist motherfucker! Casey, you're a faggot, dude! Let me bro, what's up? You saying all that shit about me on the internet? Go! Go! The fuck out of here, dude! We're not here! We're not here! You know! Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out! Go! Go!
Go, Widow Fed.
Go, bitches! Go, bitches!
He didn't talk out of fucking time! Calling everybody! Fuck out of here! Get him! Get him! Get him! Get the fuck out! Fuck yeah, dog. Bitch. Fuck yeah, dog. Get the fuck out. Let's go. T-Master. T-Master. Yeah. T-Master.
Demons! The way you talked about my brother is fucking disgusting. You do not talk to people like
Demons!
Demons!
Oh, cover your face. Cover your face.
Demons! Demons!
You guys are taking the streets back, aren't you?
Demons! You fucking racist piece of shit! Come on, come here! Fuck you, Nazi!
Oh, okay, guys, let's go back.
We've been saying it. We've been saying it for years and years. We were saying it before 2020. The feds are in the crowd. The feds are provocateurs. The feds are out there starting this shit, and they are, and they have been. We know it, and yeah. Let's look at some of these faces that got demasked. I brought a couple of breakdowns. The FBI following Biden's instructions. Yeah, that's what the FBI stands for. And when you actually look at who these guys are, this is Ben Brody. Ben Brody is a poli-sci major at UCR, and he, after graduation, plans on working for the government. I wonder how he's feeling about that nowadays. Oh, probably not good. I love how they cover their face. So, I mean, they were literally covering their faces and running away because that's the whole point, right? You got to have your face covered. But let's talk about this little coward right here, because this is the one who was in charge of all this shit. He's the real bad dude, right? Did anyone notice the alpha male let the beta males get stomped? I noticed, yeah. And you can just tell by looking at him, he's probably the director of this little shenanigan. And because he knew that there was too many and he stood back and tried to act like the beta, his posture gives him away in this video. He doesn't even flinch. He scans like a fed looking for a treat. Yes, this is the real bad guy. He was the one who should have been demasked. Absolutely, this is who they should have demasked, because I think we would have got a little bit more answers of what agency was out there, even though we know it was the FBI, right? For sure. So I'm just glad to see it. Whatever, these guys need demasked. Everybody needs to see this. But those guys were cracking me up. The one that was like screaming, something bitch. like I'm like, he said that to his woman before. You can tell. He says it with authority. Okay, I had to bring this just because I thought it was so freaking funny. So, of course, Kyle and Crystal were out there spewing the Russian coup attempt, right? And they were doing it in real time from their Motel 6 hotel room. And my favorite comment from John says, bro's mom's looking rough. Bro's mom is looking rough. Crystal, maybe slow down. Spend some time at home with your kids. They probably miss you. I know you've been on a whirlwind lately, honey, but, just because you got a new boy toy, you still got to take care of those, dependents that you had before. Just saying. You can hate on me for it, but I was that mom. Oh, Oz, you brought us an encore? I love it. I love this meme. I'm going to keep this cat meme for a while. I smell feds. My cat can smell feds. Hell yeah. And of course, here we have, what are these? Mini Beavis and Butthead boo-hooing about how their chosen candidates already in the garbage. Yeah, be gone, bitch. That was funny, Miguel, wasn't it? Be gone, bitch. You can tell he said that to his woman many times. Be gone, bitch.
This is the time where we were really looking to see the Marianne Williamson campaign reach the next plateau, make some big moves, kind of elevate the campaign to a degree that we could feel really serious about. And I don't want to make any brash declarations. I want to give them their time to respond. But what I will say, given the information that I have now, which is what I've shared with you, Galvin and I are in the dark as anybody. We live in Kansas City, Missouri. We're not Washington insiders. But it looks like Rosie Calderon is out. She was there to replace Peter Dow, who's also out. You lose 2 campaign managers within that short span of time. It doesn't matter pretty much what else you do when you're polling at 6%. That's not the kind of, you got to think of a campaign as like a locomotive. And you know how trains start and they are slow, but they pick up steam. If you stall, you have to start your steam again from the beginning.
That is too funny. We represent the Lollipop Guild. So my question is who are they going to support now that their fave and their friend Marianne Williamson isn't polling enough and has had a lot of problems with their campaign? Where are they going to go? I doubt they're going to go to RFK Jr.'s campaign. What do you think? I could see them smoozing their way over to Cornell. Just saying, the Lollipop Kids. Yeah, we're going to call them the Lollipop Kids from now on, the Lollipop Guild, right? They're from Kansas City. They're not Washington insiders. What do they know? Hey, did you see that Oregon passed statewide ranked choice voting yesterday? We'll be keeping an eye on that just to see if it helps out. Of course, I have advocated for ranked choice voting for a long time in the places that it has been implemented. It seems like the public, the people have a little bit more a say in who's being elected to their, state positions. So I will definitely keep an eye on it. I think Savvy's going to probably break this down. I saw that she shared this out yesterday. So definitely be watching. Savvy does a great job of chasing down these type of initiatives and stuff. And I'm sure Kit too. Kit will probably cover it if I had to guess. But I ask advocates all the time, what about ranked choice voting? If we could clean shit up and get ranked choice voting, could we actually get some power back at the ballot box? And people say, yeah, but the first step is we got to get rid of the goddamn machines. I don't know. I mean, I'm on YouTube, so I can't say too much about that because even though you're allowed to say some things, you're not allowed to say others. And Diebold likes to sue podcasters who talk about them, so we're not going to talk about them. Not today, anyways. That's for Friday. What is this? Tell me again why the wealthy had PPP loans forgiven by the Republican politicians and forgotten by the media. Ocean Gate got $450,000. Well, we now know that's sitting at the bottom of the sea next to the Titanic. Marjorie Taylor Greene got $183,000. Why? What the fuck does she sell that she wasn't able to sell? The Catholic Church, $3.5 billion with a B, guys. Okay. Joel Osteen, he needed an extra $4 million. Yeah, he did because he didn't get enough from his mega church. Tom Brady, almost $1 million for fucking what? He's probably one of the richest ball players in the fucking country. Yeah, he needed that. And of course, don't leave out Kanye. He got, we don't know, 2 to 5 million, somewhere in there. We're just gonna say 2 to 5. Maybe we gave him 2, maybe we gave him 5. I gotta check this meme out. Let's see. Rich people every single day of their lives. Is someone too poor to afford insulin? Rich people after seeing one submarine meme. Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you? Yeah, how dare you? You're not allowed to talk about them, but they got no shits to give about you, right? We haven't seen the Ronald McDonald Oz gif in a long time, so I had to bust it out of the closet and dust it off. It's one of my favorite. So could this save America? A Trump RFK Jr. ticket. Could you imagine? Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen because Bobby is a rank and file dim who toes the line and thinks that Trump is a fascist dictator. So I don't know. I don't see this happening, guys. You can wishful think, but it's not going to happen. So on Saturday, we broke the news, the video of Bobby out in the weight yard working out. They're calling him now Beefcake Bobby. So health expert, conspiracy theorist. I don't know. Who would you take advice from? A lot of people are saying that Bobby is juiced on a bunch of different chemicals. And yeah, maybe, but you still don't get that body unless you're lifting weights, right? You can't just take a magic potion and you get muscle like that. You actually have to be working out. It's okay, gamer. You can be late. We're just glad you made it. You just missed pretty much me covering everything everybody else is talking about, right? So I think Jilly sent me this. DeSantis opposition to marijuana decriminalization is wrong. He said, Bobby says, I will decriminalize cannabis at the federal level. Current situation with contradictory states, federal law is obscure. States should be able to decide whether without federal interference. Absolutely. I do believe that this should be a state thing. Come together, America, the sinner. This man will stop the bullshit. Will he stop the bullshit? Because there you see him on Billy Maher. He stopped by Bill Maher this week to talk about, his campaign and his policies. And my question is, if he's the man that's going to come save us, what the fuck is he going to do about this next clip that I brought? And this is disgusting. What is happening to the Palestinian people and the West Bank? Nobody's talking about it the last couple of weeks. Oh my God. And this right here, I mean, COVID mandates are going to be number one for me, but I got to tell you guys, the Palestinian people, the Palestinian plight is going to be high on my fucking list. After watching this video, you'll see why.
The West Bank is on fire, literally. Israeli settlers have been on a rampage, setting fire to entire Palestinian towns and villages. Hundreds of homes, vehicles, farmlands, and other property have been burned to the ground by settlers. Dozens of Palestinians have been injured, and one Palestinian man was even killed.
He died while rescuing his cousin.
The images of masked Israeli settlers setting fire to Palestinian homes could be mistaken for the images we saw earlier this year in Huwara, but images like these and these are all new, and Palestinians say the latest settler attacks paint a terrifying picture of what life is like in the West Bank right now.
The systematic attacks and oppression against Palestinians is increasing, whether by the Israeli occupation forces or settlers. Both of them work to serve one system and one goal.
The latest settler rampage came on the heels of a shooting attack that killed 4 Israeli settlers. The Palestinians who carried out that shooting did so a day after the Israeli military invaded Jenin and killed 7 Palestinians, including 2 children.
What the hell is she talking about?
Of course, in response to the killing of the settlers, Israel has gone beyond just killing the Palestinian perpetrators or threatening to destroy their families' homes. It's escalating its military operations, assassinating Palestinians using drone strikes, and promoting the construction of settlements. It's even encouraging the settlers to carry out their attacks by offering them protection and resources. And Palestinians say that these events are destined to repeat themselves.
As long as the Israeli government continues denying the Palestinian rights, the situation on the ground, unfortunately, will get worse and worse. There will be more violence and blood, and the Palestinians will continue to suffer.
And that is exactly why I can't get on board with Bobby Kennedy. I absolutely can't. As much as I love what he's saying about the mandates and big pharma, and if he legalizes weed at the federal level, that would be great. But this right here is a deal breaker for me when it comes to Bobby Kennedy. But on the other hand, with Cornell, his blindness to the mandates and the harm that big pharma is doing, that's another deal breaker for me too. This is why I'm not getting behind no candidate this time around. They all have weak holes. I've always said this about the men. You could have the perfect man if you could just roll them into one. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. And I feel like we could have the perfect candidate if we could just pick a couple of things from each one and shove it together, right? And but we're not going to get the perfect candidate on this, and we've got to keep calling him out, keep screaming at him, keep holding their feet to the fire. And that's why I'm so thankful for people like Craig Pasta Jardula, who calls him out. We've seen him call Bobby out in real time. We've seen him call Cornell out in real time. So we got to keep getting real journalists on the ground into those spaces as long as we can, right? And that means funding them ourselves, guys. This doesn't happen unless we get the money to get out there and get in their places, in their faces. So help those who are getting out on the road, please, with their microphones and camera. It's so important. I'm looking for a long-term relationship. So you won't date me because I got a COVID shot and boosters? Oh, do you know what that means? And I love the Shining. We have a lot of Kubrick references on the deck today. Of course, that is The Shining down there. I think that was one of the very first refaces that Oz ever made of me. I love it. I love it. Wendy and her cigarette. This is something I didn't know. Did you guys know this? Check this out. Monty Python's and the Holy Grail had 3,000 $319,000 budget was bankrolled by Pink Floyd, Roger Waters, Led Zeppelin, Genesis, Elton John, and wait for it, Jethro Tull. What? No freaking way. It makes sense now, doesn't it? You guys will have to join us on Saturday. I think Oz has got some Jethro Tull loaded into the music machine for us, so that'll be fun. I didn't know that, though. That's an odd fact. And let's see. Shut down these warmongers. Machinist strike at Sprint in Wichita could shut down Boeing's production. What? Shut down part of the war machine? No. Yes. Strike, machinists. Strike for sure. Do it. And those Boeing jobs, they used to be here in Seattle, but they moved because it was cheaper to go there. I haven't seen any of JP's videos the last couple of weeks. He's kind of made a pivot and a change, and I understand it. I get it. Each their own, right? But he's been out there fighting back against Peter the Hotez, and Peter finally blocked him. Boo-hoo. I'm proud to say that Peter Hotez has blocked me. Given that he has a PhD in propaganda, I'm going to take this moment to reflect on what I did. That was so effective. I will then do more of the exact same thing. Tyrants might be liars, but at least they're cowards too. JP Sears killing it. And let's hear from this little propagandist.
It's usually a 10 to 25 year time frame. People forget how long it really takes to develop an effective and safe vaccine and do all the adequate clinical testing. I think the current record for developing a vaccine from start to licensure in the United States is around 3 or 4 years. So that's the realistic time frame we have to start thinking about.
When you look at the timelines of coronavirus this COVID-19 vaccines, it really follows the same progression as almost any other vaccine. The vaccine development cycle for COVID-19 vaccines very much goes along with what we've seen before, and there are some variances, but modest. And I think that's an important story for people to know if they're concerned about taking COVID-19 vaccines.
Yeah, it was funny how they kept changing it, right? They kept changing. Oh, no, it takes 10 years. We're not going to have one. And then all of a sudden, boom, we had one. Well, we now know that Operation Warp Speed and DARPA had been working on gain of function research for a long fucking time. And who gets paid for that? Well, these little propaganda heads that have been forcing this shit down our throats for years now. They get paid for that, right? That's why they pushed so hardly back against the Wuhan narrative, right? Because they didn't want anybody knowing it was gain of function research that we were funding, right? Yes, Amber says there is strike. Teamsters are also about to strike, and so is UPS. Did I read, or was it USPS? One of those is getting ready. I support all strike. I mean, we're already going without. We're already seeing supply chain, shortages all over. We have been for years. I don't inconvenience us. I will come stand on the picket lane with you. I am, the workers have to come together. They have to come together. And that's the only saving grace we might have is if workers come together and push back. We've been saying it for years. General strike, wildcat strikes, strike, but you got Biden, Mr. Strike Buster, who just, crushes them like he always does. And then you have the top down union leaders that are dictating to the union members what's going to happen. It just makes me sick to my stomach to watch the whole damn thing. Right. Your enemies are not poor people in other countries. Yes, no, they're not. Just a reminder. I normally try to throw a Hillary Clinton one on the Seth Rich, Justice for Seth Rich, and I'm never going to take that off my deck. Never. I'm never going to take Seth Rich off my deck, just like I'm never going to take Julian Assange off my deck until there is some questions answered and people held accountable for this shit and the truth is actually spoken. I'm going to continue to fight for truth and RIP for Seth Rich for sure. Cynthia McKinney, I say it all the time. She has never let me down. And not that she's a human being and humans let you down. We all have our opinions. But of all the people I have followed for so many years now, she has walked the path with me, man. She has never stepped off the path. She's always right there. And look, Lula's work party comes out against Roger Waters. Oh. So Worker Party of Government in Brazil joins the pro-imperialists and they're smearing Waters vilifying him like they always do. Oh, today's Monday. I got to go check up on David Icke and see what happened with his court case. And of course, he's been banned in 26 countries, and he's going to Dutch court today, I believe, to try to fight to get back into these countries. And it's disgusting. You just ban somebody because of their ideology. And that's what they want to do to Roger Waters, right? That's what they did. Let's see. Do you have a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior, Edgar Allan Poe? You guys know I love crows. I love crows. I love crows and cats. So this is the perfect meme for me. Thank you, whoever sent that to me. Crows and cats. How's the chats doing? YouTube sucks for lunchtime. The mid-afternoon, all it does is scroll. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're holding tight with 70 watching right now. That's great for a Monday morning with all the channels combined. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Snorky, you made it. Good to see you. Oh, summer number 5 hanging out. Happy Monday, everybody. Gregory Walker in the house also. Yeah, it's good. Janice, good to see ya. Choosy's here. Red Cloud. Hi, Red Cloud. Of course, Gamer made it. Oz the Boomer made it. This is the Boomer 2.0 that Hunter made. Isn't it so cute? She made this cute little hat. She did such a good job. I gotta figure out how to go see her today. You know, I blew the front tire of my car out, so I can hop the bus for a couple of bucks and go the next town over and probably see her. I think they're gonna keep her a couple more days, but they blew her stomach up, so she's pretty swollen and she's got a lot of gas, she says. And she was loopy as hell yesterday when I was there. I look at the other grandma because the other grandma was, I go, is she on pain meds? And yeah, and I was like, I can tell. Oh my gosh, she was loopy and funny. She's going to be okay. Thanks for all the well wishes. Horse Gal, Chris is here. Hey, Chris, how's your garden growing? Mine's doing good. You know, fighting the rats like I normally do. Wishing it was sunnier, but I want to see a video of your place, Chris. And let's do a show, Chris. I haven't seen you in so long. Rick, welcome. It's always good to have a new face in the chat with us. Bella Lugoosi's here too. Hey, Bella. What's up? Pittsburgh Dude 87's in the house. God, everybody's hanging out in the house today. I feel so special. Holy crap, and our numbers are just climbing. I mean, they just climbed another 5 from the last few minutes. So I think we're getting close to the end of the deck. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, we still have a few things to talk about. Let's talk about Team Orca. This is my local pod. So several calves were born in the J and the K pod last year during the J59. The J pod's first calf since September of 2020, and K45, the K pod's first calf since 2011. If this new calf survives, it would bring the southern residents' population up to 74, according to the data for the nonprofit Orca Conservative. Of course, I live in the Pacific Northwest. I can literally drive 5 minutes down the road, and these guys show up a lot of times. They're all over where I live. They'll come into our little outlets in our bays, and yeah, we are Team Orca here all the fucking way. And I am always happy to hear they have new babies. Let's see. I've got the article on this. There was something about this article. The Southern Residency Orca Pod may have a new calf. Announced on Friday. It appears to be a swimming calf with the L pod on June 19th up towards British Columbia. They saw it. They captured photos of it. 4.5 miles off the shore. Good. I hope they're staying off the shore. These babies, they come in and they get hit by the boats. And, orcas are a maternal animal, and they're matriarchs. So the grandmothers raise the baby. So once an orca calf is born, the mother doesn't take care of it. The grandmother takes care of it. And some say that that's what happened with White Gladys, that something happened with the baby, and that's why she's hell-bent on revenge. But they're so beautiful, and you just want to protect them. 74. If this is a true new baby, we will have 74 of these beautiful, majestic creatures left in our area. 74. That's it, guys. So fuck anybody who is like, orcas aren't your friend. Yes, they are your friend. They deserve to be in the sea more than we goddamn do, right? That's the way I see it. So I will keep you guys updated on our local K and J pods. So let's see, we got K, J, and L pods up here. I don't know who did this, but this is funny. This is fucking funny. Jerry Springer at its best. I make fun of Republicans too. See, absolutely. They're just as bad. Is that Chucky Schumer as Jerry? He could play Jerry Springer in the Jerry Springer reboot movie, right? Chucky could. I think he could. He could pull it off. Oz, can you wrench Red Cloud? Yeah, Oz, if you're over in the YouTube, wrench whoever you want, please. Of course, I've got my chat running through the restream right now, so I'm not over there in real time. I want to talk to you guys about my local hospital. So our local hospital is called OMC, which is Olympic Medical Center. It is a subsidiary of Chime Franciscan Medical, which is one of those big conglomerates that's totally screwing us. And guess what? My little tiny hospital has lost $12 million in 5 fucking months. 12 million in 5 months. 1 million in May alone. So it makes me question everything, right down to my granddaughter's surgery. Like, I wonder, was it necessary? So basically, they go on in this article, this local article, because this was the front page of my local paper yesterday. And Pasta may be a newspaper guy, but I read the local newspapers too. And they were saying that the main reason this is happening, and it's not just my rural hospital, it's rural hospitals all over the country, is because Medicaid and Medicare payments are not keeping up with inflation. Imagine that. Are you serious? Medicaid is not paying enough out to rural hospitals? No way. It's not keeping up with inflation, like the inflation that has tripled and quadrupled on all of us that none of us can keep up with. You know, I see these people out there just talking fucking Biden up on Twitter, on Facebook. Oh, he's the best we got. We got to get behind him. Why don't you just put a I love inflation fucking post up while you're at it? Because that's what you're saying. You're saying that you're accepting and okay of everything that happens, which tells me that you're comfortable and that you don't have a clue that people are not fucking surviving in this country. You know, Jimmy loves to say this stat about, however, in households couldn't survive a $400 or $500 emergency. Yeah, try getting 2 or 3 of those emergencies smacked at you at once like I did this week. And there's nothing you can do about it. As much as your heart breaks, as much as you want shit done, you're done. And that's what it comes down to. So those who don't understand will never understand. I've said that as a poor person my whole entire life. Unless you've struggled, unless you've gone without, unless you've taken that only $100 that you've got and you've gave it to the power Gestapo versus feeding your family, then you will never know how hard it is to struggle. And people are seriously struggling in this country right now. You know, look at California's out there paying for all these reports to find out why people are homeless. People are homeless because rent's too high and wages are too low. It's that fucking simple. You don't need a $10,000 or $10 million report to tell you that, right? And we know all of the fucking money that they're donating to help the homeless is going to administrative fees. It is not trickling down to the people on the streets. I mean, we've seen this over and over and over. We bring you examples of it constantly. It's fucking disgusting. But let's look at some disgusting ways. This is my local nuclear power plant. This is SATSOP. This is between Oz and I. So if I was going to walk a straight line to Oz, which is a couple hundred miles, I would encounter this. And this is a failed power venture that my local power company, which is PUD, we just call them I think they're Puget Urban something. Anyways, they bought into this Bonneville bullshit back in the 80s. And guess what? We're still paying for it. That reactor never went online. I think they built 3 of them. One of them got close to being online. They never got online, right? Because that's when we shut it all down. Like, oh, this is bad. They had, 3 Mile Island and then Chernobyl. So then we changed our mind about, clean nuclear energy being the future, which I don't know if it is or not. There's a lot of opinions out there on it. But I know that we're still paying for this. Every time I pay my power bill, I'm paying for that mistake from fucking 20 years ago. And I will continue. My kids will probably pay for it. It's gross. I don't even know why they haven't even bothered to take it down either. Why is it still up? Why? I don't know why. Let's look at some gardening memes because, I have to bring the gardening memes at the end of the show. I garden so I don't choke people. Save a life. Send mulch. Send mulch. And I'm the kind of person who says hello to trees, birds, plants, dogs, even insects. I do. I really do, guys. I hate to admit it. I do. I'll talk to birds. Hey bird, what's up? Hey crow, what are you doing? Little bug on a flower petal. I'll talk to it. Why not? Why not? I'd rather talk to birds and insects than fucking people who support the Democratic Party or the duopoly, right? For sure. A lot going on with Julian Assange, guys. He's literally a fucking plane right away. If this happens, there's going to be some major fundraising. We're going to have to come together, get people on the ground there. I mean, I've never wanted to have to plan for this if it happened, but I've always had it in the back of my mind. If it does happen, we're going to have to hit the ground and be there. And, we will be somehow, some way, we're going to figure it out. And, it's disgusting. It's so disgusting. Great video yesterday from Stella Assange dropped. And, there's been so many good interviews. I mean, they have their way out. Like Misty says, we're giving them the easy out now. They can literally just let him out. Be done, shut your mouth and be done with it. But they want to save face, right? Ugh, they're so evil. They're so evil. Snorky, I just had to pay $6,000 for one tire. Oh my God, had to buy two. And my car is still in the shop getting repaired for that whistle pig attack. The whistle pig. You cracked me up with that story. Snorky sent me this story with a picture. And it's the cutest little picture. It's a little marmot. And he calls them whistle pigs. Apparently, he has a whistler thing to let you know if a car's or if an animal's going to jump out in front of you. Well, this little marmot just annihilated poor Snorky's vehicle. I'm so sorry, Snorky. And yes, tires are expensive. I remember being able to buy a tire for, I don't know, $25, $50, No, yeah, they're $150 for a tire now. Easy. So hard for everybody out there. So we appreciate everybody. You guys are helping keep everybody going, keeping us on the streets, reporting. I appreciate it. I know all of my brothers and sisters in independent media appreciate it too. We wouldn't be here without you. And that is the whole point, right? We're self PBS. So, right, Julian Assange, guys, we did hear he is getting his mail. You can't send him chocolate. And there is a website called JulianAssange.com where you can get all the information about what you can and cannot send and, all of that. So go check that website out for sure. And we're getting to the end of this show. God, I'm early tonight. Well, I didn't even know if I was going to have a show this morning because I didn't get in until pretty late last night. And if it wasn't for Oz helping me write this deck today, we wouldn't have had a show today. So thank you, Oz, for coming in and saving my bacon again. Hey, you guys know what? I'm going to be hanging out with Misty Winston on the Misty Winston Show today at 3:00. You can join us over there at tntradio.live. We have so much fun doing radio. It takes such a pressure off of you to know that you're not on screen. I can't explain it. And, you can't see each other. So literally you're just listening to the timing. And I just love having conversations with Missy over there. She is nailing it with the people that she's interviewing. And you can go listen to any of Missy's interviews. You just go to the content creator and they have literally all the podcasts lined up. I suggest you go listen to her Primo Radical interview from last Friday. Fucking amazing. Primo don't get out there and do a lot of interviews, so it's always great when we hear from him. The chat is fun over there too. So you have to click listen live and it pulls up a little player that looks like this. Literally the player is just a little narrow thing that looks like this. But then on the right-hand bottom part of your screen, when you get logged in there, there's a little round icon that says chat. Click on that and you'll get into the chat real time. I think you got to be signed in via email or whatever to get in there. Kate just dropped the link. Thank you so much, Kate. I have fun over there. And Missy's in real time in the chat listening and talking back with you guys. So if you didn't know, and definitely be following Comrade Misty Putin's buddy on Twitter, right? Because she burns it up. She really does. Okay, I want to shout out the chats. You guys have been amazing this morning. The Rokfin's been going off. Hey, Rokfin. We've had the Rumble. The Rokfin's been crazy today. We had 35 over on the Rokfin. That's amazing. Gregory Rocker, Kate, Amber King. Amber, you got a show. Amber's got a new show, guys, and it's on the Rokfin. Go check it out. I have to back out to see what it's called, but go check it out. Amber's got a new series that she's doing. Great interviews, great conversations, important information. If Amber's bringing it to you, you need to hear it. And I don't know if she's got a Brave New Future this weekend, but Rim, thank you so much. So glad to see you. Snorky, of course, and Copeland and Death to Tyrants. Good to see you. I don't want to say the same names 5 times over. Denver. Kyle, I didn't see you, Kyle. Opus, hi. So good to see so many on a Monday morning. You get this week started off right. Last week sucked so bad. I just have to have a better week this week. I have to. I'm demanding it. I'm requiring it. Well, I think I got TK. Hey, TK, good to see you. I don't want to miss any of these chats. Good thing the Yellowstone River only leads to Missoula River. Yeah, my brother lives there. My brother lives just outside of Lodi. And so he's down towards Stevensville. If you know where Stevensville is, it's heading towards Hamilton. But yeah, I spent a lot of time in Montana. Beautiful, beautiful fucking part of the country. Absolutely pristine. And it breaks my heart. It makes me sick to my stomach to know that we care so little about our fucking infrastructure that we allow this to happen. Nobody cares. Media's not covering it. I just got to say that $6.2 billion that the Pentagon pulled out of their ass to probably give to this CIA bullshit. What could we have done with that? How many bridges could we have fixed with that? How many tracks could we have fixed with that? When was the last time we actually maintained and fixed anything in this goddamn country? Our infrastructure is failing. Bernie Sanders used to say it in 2016. Our infrastructure gets a D minus, I believe. And that was 8 years ago. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get better until we put money in it. And we're not going to be able to put money in it while we have these corporations in control that are sucking the coffers dry and filling their own pockets 100%. Let's shout out the YouTube. Kyle Rose hanging out over here. Bella Lagoose, it's so good to see you. Chris, I mean it. Let's do a show. Red Cloud, so good to see ya. Choosy Heretics, choose Carnation Revolution now. See, that one's easier for me to say than what your Rokfin's name is. Jilly, I appreciate you more than I can say. A lot of our slides come from Jilly. Jilly's loading me down with material all day long. If you guys come across information you think I should have to get out to you guys, just DM it, email it, get a hold of me. You know how. Kate, I hope you have a great day. Patty in NYC, stay cool. I know it's hot there. DC, Cold Fusion Gaming's hanging out. Always so supportive. I appreciate it. V, thank you so much for coming in. One of these days, I will get your last name down. Also, for I can't. And I took German and I can't even wrap my mind around it. I apologize. Anyways, go start. I think we are out of here. I got a great cover for you guys. We're going out with a Jacob Moon cover of Rush's Subdivisions. He does a great job, man. He covers the whole thing by himself. He's like a 5-man band. So until Wednesday, I am out of here and I will see you. Yeah, I will see you Wednesday. Join me 3:00 with Misty today, and I will see you Wednesday morning. Have a great rest of your Monday, guys. May the week be good for all of us. And do no harm, man. Do no harm.
Subdivisions.
Sprawling on the fringes of the city in geometric order, an insulated border in between the bright lights and the far unlit unknown. Growing up, it all seems so one-sided. Opinions are provided, the future's pre-decided. The tide stands subdivided in the mass production zone. Nowhere is the dreamer or the misfit so long. Subdivisions. In the high school halls, in the shopping malls, conform or be cast out. In the basement bars, in the backs of cars, be cool be cast out. Any escape might help to soothe the unattractive truth. For the suburbs have no charms to soothe the restless dreams of you. Moths we drift into the city, the timeless old attraction, cruising for the action, lit up like a firefly, just to feel the living night. Some will sell their dreams for small desires, or lose the race to rats, caught into king traps, start to dream of somewhere to relax their restless flight. Somewhere out of memory, lighted streets on a quiet night. In the high school halls, in the shopping malls, conform or be cast out. In the basement bars, in the backs of cars, be cool or be cast out. Be cool or be cast out. Escape might help to soothe the unattractive truth, but the suburbs have no charms to soothe the restless dreams of